So, you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel and getting monetized fast. In this video, we're not going to waste time on the basic stuff you've seen a million times, but we're diving straight into the key things that will actually help you grow on YouTube. Specifically, we'll cover how to find a profitable niche, how to find the killer video ideas, how to design high CTR thumbnails, how to use copywriting for titles, and how to write an engaging script. I also put together a full step-by-step guide that'll be super helpful for you. You'll find it in the description. And don't worry, by the end of this video, I'm not going to try to sell you some course on getting rich with YouTube. All I ask is that you leave a like for the effort and don't skip any steps, because every part is crucial if you want to grow. Step 1. Find the perfect niche. The niche you choose is like the foundation of a house. If you pick the wrong one, the whole thing will collapse. You've probably seen videos claiming you can make $10,000 a month by posting videos created in 30 minutes using ChatGPT. I mean, I'm not saying those strategies never work. The problem is, because they seem easy, everyone jumps on them, and those niches get super competitive really quickly. Even if you manage to get some initial visibility, it becomes tough to keep it up because over time, that kind of content starts to lose its appeal due to lack of originality. And to stand out from others, you'll need to create more and more quality content. The key to a successful YouTube channel in the long run is finding a niche that hits the sweet spot between passion, expertise, and monetization opportunities. So, like any business, you've got to start with a detailed analysis of supply and demand in the YouTube market and do some considerations. First of all, grab a piece of paper and jot down all the topics you feel confident about or that you enjoy talking about. The reason for this is that if you actually like the topic, you'll be more motivated to create content over the long run. Choose the right time to jump into the niche. Niches on YouTube follow a life cycle that breaks down into 3 main stages: creation, growth, and stabilization. In the first stage, the niche is still new on YouTube and has very little competition. Examples of this were NFTs in 2021 or artificial intelligence in 2022. In the second stage, the niche starts to gain popularity and becomes highly searched. By the final stage, the niche becomes highly competitive. For example, if you notice creators with 500,000 subscribers getting an average of 5,000 views per video, it could be a sign that the niche is either too competitive or starting to lose interest. The creation phase is the hardest because there's no clear roadmap. Creators in this stage are essentially pioneers. They're experimenting with formats, topics, styles without any guarantee of traction. A niche on YouTube can be created in different ways, by combining different interests, targeting a very specific audience, or taking a successful format and reinventing it. Let me give you an example to help you understand what I mean. You've probably seen those animated videos that describe life from the perspective of an animal. This creator was one of the first to bring that format to life. But how did they get there? It's likely they were inspired by a video that went viral 7 years ago and decided to adapt it, making their own original version. By doing that, they filled a gap left by the original creator and turned that idea into a successful series. Now, even though starting a brand new niche is tough, jumping in during the growth phase can still be a smart move. A sign that a niche is growing is seeing new creators talking about that topic and gaining views and subscribers quickly. Another thing you can do is check Google Trends, select YouTube searches, and see if keywords related to that niche are trending. Check the monetization. Once you've identified your niche, pick a few channels and use one of the verification sites to check if they're actually monetized. You don't want to hit your monetization goals only to find out later that the channel can't actually be monetized.
Not good.
Consider the RPM. If you're here, it's probably because you want to do YouTube out of passion and, yeah, to make some money too. And when it comes to that, one of the key things you need to understand is RPM. RPM stands for how much you earn per 1,000 monetized views on your channel. Here are some estimates for RPM, and as you can see, it varies a lot depending on the niche. This means that with the same amount of views, a finance channel can make a lot more than a gaming channel. However, choosing a niche with a high RPM isn't always the best choice. Some high RPM niches tend to have a smaller audience, which means fewer overall views, compared to niches with a lower RPM but a much bigger audience. Plus, High RPM niches often require more advanced skills, well-crafted videos, professional editing, and sometimes big investments. So if you're just starting out, it might be smarter to go with simpler content. Once you gain more experience, you can decide if you want to tackle more complex and competitive niches. To save you some time, I've already done an analysis of a few niches that are performing really well right now. You'll find it in the file I created. But before jumping straight into a niche, ask yourself, who is the target that watches these videos? How much does it cost me to make a video? What's the average video length in this niche? How often do I need to post? Is the content easy to create? Once you've figured out if the niche works for you, you can move on to the next step. Step 2. Find killer ideas. A killer idea is composed of the topic, that is, the main theme of the video, the format, the way the content is presented, and the angle, which is what sets your video apart from the others out there. The more you know a topic, the better you'll be at offering a fresh perspective on what's already available. There are different ways to find these ideas. Let's start with outliers. An outlier is a video that's gotten way more views than the rest of the videos on a channel. The point of an outlier is to validate an idea you had for a video or to take inspiration for content that resonates with the audience. To find them, look for channels similar to yours that have a small following and check out which videos had a spike in views compared to the others. What you want to do is analyze why that video worked, improve on it, and make it your own style. The comments section. YouTube comments are a goldmine. A lot of times, users ask questions or show interest in topics the creator didn't cover, which is a great chance to make a video that fills in those gaps. YouTube Studio. If you go into your YouTube channel analytics and click on the trend section, YouTube gives you a tool to see what people are searching for. And as you can see, these are all potential video ideas. This lets you track the most popular searches and emerging trends in your niche. If you plug in a keyword related to your niche, you can see how interested your audience is in that topic. This helps you come up with a potential video idea. Let's take a practical example on one of my videos. Before I came up with the idea for this video, I was doing some research on YouTube and noticed there were some recent videos on how to win an argument that were outliers. I also saw, using the vidIQ tool, that even older videos on the topic were still getting views. So I decided to create a video on that topic. As for the format, I went with listing out practical strategies, and to make it even more engaging, I used a tier list to rank those strategies, making the video more fun to watch. The angle that made my video different from the rest was the fact that it focused on dominating an argument, no matter whether you're right or not. And that approach worked. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just find the sweet spot between what people want to see and how you present it. Step 3. Create the thumbnail. The thumbnail is one of the most important things. If no one clicks on your video, it doesn't matter how well it's edited, YouTube won't push it. The thumbnail is the first thing people see, even before the title and description. According to YouTube, the average CTR is about 6%, but that really depends on the kind of content you're putting out. Content like celebrity news usually has a higher CTR than an educational video. Anyways, I recommend aiming for 10%. If that seems ambitious, don't worry. I'll show you some powerful design principles that top YouTubers use to create thumbnails that grab attention. Principle 1. Rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is a design principle where you draw 2 evenly spaced horizontal lines and 2 vertical ones, breaking the thumbnail into 9 equal sections. The spots where those lines cross, known as strengths, are considered strategic areas to place the most important elements. Alternatively, you can go for a more symmetrical look by placing the main subject right in the center. Principle 2. Using the right colors. Colors are not just an aesthetic choice, but evoke a certain emotion, and understanding the meaning of colors allows you to use them strategically to create an eye-catching thumbnail. Obviously, you always need to keep your niche in mind. If you're in the horror niche, your thumbnail should convey mystery and fear, so you'd use dark, cold colors. If you're in gaming, the colors should reflect fun and dynamism. In this case, bright and saturated colors work very well. If you look closely at a MrBeast thumbnail, you'll notice that every color choice is intentional, and the combination creates a visual harmony that makes the image more appealing. If you're not experienced with design, there are free tools like Coolors that help you find color combos that work well together. Principle 3. Create contrast. If the elements in your thumbnail blend into the background, the image loses its visual punch, and the viewer will be less enticed to click on the video. If you use a dark background with a character dressed in black, the thumbnail will look flat. On the other hand, if you use a lighter background, that's when the subject will stand out. Principle 4. Simplicity. Most users watch YouTube on their phones, which means that thumbnails appear smaller. If you fill your thumbnail with unnecessary details, you'll end up with a confusing image that no one will understand at first glance. The key is simplicity. Keep it to a few impactful elements that immediately communicate the theme of the video. But all of these rules are useless if you don't apply the next principle, which can really make the difference between a successful thumbnail and one that goes unnoticed. Principle 5. Create curiosity. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with content, the only way to really grab attention is by sparking curiosity. This means planting questions in the viewer's mind, questions that can't be answered without clicking on the video. For example, if you look at this thumbnail, you can't help but wonder, what happens when I put this object under the press? Will it survive the pressure, or will it completely crush? To create curiosity, there are several types of thumbnails you can use, and here are some of the most effective ones. There's the before-after thumbnail, which shows a visual comparison between an initial situation and the final result, creating interest in seeing the full transformation. Emphasizing thumbnail, which highlights a specific element of the image to grab attention, often using red circles or arrows. The question thumbnail relies on the power of questions to generate immediate curiosity. If you look at this thumbnail, for example, it shows a visibly tense girl and a question. That question acts like a powerful hook because it triggers a bunch of questions in our minds, which we can only solve by clicking. The complete analysis of the other types of thumbnails is in the file I prepared for you. Otherwise, this video would have been hours long. For creating high-quality thumbnails, Photoshop is the best choice. But if you're looking for something simpler and more intuitive, Canva is a great alternative. Step 4. How to use copywriting for titles. Copywriting is a great skill to have in a YouTuber's skill set because it plays a crucial role in captivating your audience and writing an engaging title. The title is the first thing you should focus on when creating a video on YouTube. A good title sets expectations that need to be met by the script. If the title promises something interesting, the audience will expect the video to deliver and expand on that promise. An effective title should have these 5 characteristics. It should apply to a wide range of people. It shouldn't be generic. It should spark questions in the viewer's mind, highlight a clear benefit, and avoid unnecessary words. To make a title more enticing, you can use some copywriting techniques that can drastically increase your chances of getting clicks. Let's look at some of the most powerful ones. FOMO technique. If we look at this title, it perfectly uses this technique because it creates a strong sense of regret in the viewer for not having learned that information sooner. This pushes them to want to watch the video to avoid making the same mistake. Polarization. Polarization is all about expressing an opinion that goes against the popular view. When using this strategy, you provoke a reaction, whether it's agreement or disagreement, but in both cases, people will feel compelled to react. Use numbers. Numbers give a sense of precision and are automatically associated with facts. A title with a number communicates clarity because the viewer knows what to expect and to what extent. That's why titles like 5 Habits That Changed My Life or How to Get Ahead of 99% of People work so well. Powerful words. Power words are emotionally charged words that act as psychological triggers to grab attention. A title like Discover the Secret to Becoming Productive in One Day is much more engaging than How to Be More Productive because it promises something exclusive and powerful. Step 5. How to write a script. YouTube videos can generally be divided into 2 main categories. Educational, those videos designed to teach, and entertainment, designed to entertain the viewer. In both cases, there are a few main questions you've got to answer to make a solid script. For an educational video, the questions are: what action does the viewer need to take to get the result? What feeling do they need to experience to be motivated to take that action? For a video titled How to Wake Up at 5 a.m. every day and feel energetic, the action is waking up at 5 a.m. and the emotion they need to feel is inspiration and ambition. So the script will guide the viewer on how to create a morning routine focusing on those emotions. For an entertainment video, the questions are: what's the most interesting idea that could make someone click on the video? What emotions should the viewer feel while watching to stay hooked until the end? Under these two categories, we have subcategories, and depending on the type of video you want to make, you'll structure your script in various ways. Generally, a script is made up of the hook, body, and outro. The hook's task is twofold: to convince those who clicked that they made the right choice, and to spark enough curiosity to make them want to keep watching. On YouTube, the first 30 seconds are crucial because it's during this time that people decide whether to leave the video or not. If you do a good job here, you'll increase the overall retention of the video. So let's look at how to create an effective hook and go from this to this. In the hook, no jargon. Don't be too clickbait. Avoid long intros, and avoid using cliches without personality. Instead, confirm the promise of the title right away. Get straight to the point, use simple language, and speak to a broad audience. The hook is made up of the first line and the introduction. These are the most commonly used first lines that grab attention. The introduction should give context and set up the main result of the video. So, before even writing the hook, think about the questions your viewer will have as soon as they see the title and thumbnail. The intro of the video should answer these questions clearly, immediately engaging the audience. To build a good body for your video, it's helpful to create an outline with the points you want to cover, and then develop them one by one. For example, the outline I used for this video is this, and from there, I developed each point in detail. The real challenge is keeping the audience's attention high while explaining each point. A trick that works really well for this is using open loops. Basically, instead of moving flatly from one point to another, you create small transitions that spark curiosity, making each step seem even more important than the last. If you pay attention, I even used an open loop earlier. The outro is the conclusion of the video and should be seen as a strategic part. Don't just say thanks for watching, but a good idea is to direct the audience to another video they might enjoy, which increases the channel's watch time. The YouTube algorithm loves that. If you really want to take your channel to the next level, get ready to put in the right time and effort. We're not talking about a quick fix or a secret trick that will make you rich overnight. But if you're willing to learn, test, and constantly improve, then YouTube can become one of the most powerful platforms to build a solid business.